Good evening and welcome to the Plastic Crab Podcast, episode 35, season 4. Woohoo! Time is flying. Yeah, we're the wrong way around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm switching everyone around. Stop.
I didn't.
Do it. Stop it.
Not me.
I haven't
There we
touched
go.
it.
It's not me.
Hey guys. Yeah,
There we are.
always
We're
not
right
us. So, just want to say hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching on the replay and the catch up. We appreciate your viewing. We are sponsored by Boards and Saws Hobbies in Derby, the home of CrackCon. Use code PCP5 to get an additional 5% off their already great reductions. So head over to Board and Swords now. Spend your
He
money.
made that sound like it was something off of MasterChef. Look at this amazing reduction.
Yeah.
Look at this blackcurrant reduction.
So I've got a new thing for my week.
Oh, gosh.
So when it's
Oh,
my
God.
week now, I'm going to do a recommendation for a book. Okay.
Oh, Jesus
God.
Christ.
Just Jesus Christ, God. Right. So this week, my recommendation is Warhawk
What's that?
from the Siege of Terror series. It's Games Workshop.
Right.
Sci-fi.
That's the next one I've got to do, actually. That's the next
Yeah.
one. I've just
So-
finished Mortis, which is the one before that, isn't it?
I didn't really like Mortis. It dragged. I don't know what you felt of it. But
I
it was
just
okay.
wanted them to,
The
I
end
just
was
wanted them to
better.
break through the wall really quickly.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation this week. Just if you've not tried sci-fi, why not give it a go?
Are we doing a book? Do you want us all to do a book?
Yeah, go on, go for a book. Yeah, go
I
for
have
a
a
book.
book.
Go on,
There's my book.
Go on.
I have a book.
Go-
I have a
go
book.
for a book.
So I recommend getting a proper bookshelf. I recommend this one by David Santanese, which is, funnily enough, called Edward IV and the War of the Roses.
Oh, that's
but-
funny, isn't it?
But it is really good. It doesn't deal with anything other than Edward and his ability as a general, and looks at really like how his upbringing and how all his sort of early formative years, like in France and things, might have actually affected his tactics. And it looks at different tactics that he employed in some of the different battles, and says that, so this was done to him at Towton, so he tried to do it at Tewkesbury. So there's lots of comparing and contrasting. And then once it gets to the end of his sort of military stuff, it just stops. It doesn't deal with any of the Richard
Other
stuff
stuff.
or any of that. No, it's really good. It's really well, really written in a really nice sort of flowing way. And
What
it's
sort
got
of what sort of book? So obviously mine would be science fiction. What would yours?
it's non-fiction. It's
Non-fiction, yeah.
it's essentially a military biography of Edward.
Oh, okay, that's
So-
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You got anything, Dom?
Well, I'm reading that book that Martin recommended the other week, the Mortimer's thing, not Mortimer's. What was it?
Rebellion.
You're going to
the
say
Rebellion.
Mortis, then I was like, what?
Rebellions. Yeah,
Rebellion under
Yeah.
the Monteforian rebellion stuff.
Montefiore
nice.
Oh,
Rebellion.
awesome.
Yeah, which
Nice,
is
that's
actually do you know what? I started reading it one night and I ended up reading it far too late because I genuinely was kind of hooked in on it. I thought I knew a lot about, or reasonable about the period, but I suddenly realised how little I knew about that bit.
It's-
Very, very
Because
interesting.
it's exactly the same. It's just because because he gets to Simon de Montfort, and you're like, oh, okay, he's dead.
Yeah,
We won't say what happened to him because we don't want to demonetize Ken's video. We and you get to him, but the whole mop up operation afterwards, I actually find almost as interesting as the entire preceding Barons' War that kind of
Yeah.
led into it. All these different factions. He's the same author has done a book about Edward in Wales as well.
Oh, good. That's
So
another one to read then.
Yeah.
So I found it fascinating, really interesting, but I haven't got that far into it because I got distracted. But really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's
that's
cool.
what I've been
That's
reading.
wicked. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm going to try and do this every time I do a thing, just as 4 weeks or how long it normally is. So I do it a week. Kind of enough time to read a book and then maybe go to, just recommend something next time, just something a bit different in it. Also helps
good
the
plan.
listeners
Good
that
idea.
are on.
Very
Yeah.
good idea.
Cool.
Good idea.
Right, so let's have a little
Can I
check.
recommend-
who's-
can I recommend a
oh
book?
yeah, of course you
Don't
can.
ask
Sorry,
me.
fucking
No,
left you
he's
out there.
not
Sorry,
allowed
mate.
to. No.
So I
Nah.
can't get it. I can't get it 'cause it's next in the living room. I'm currently reading a book called Elegy, and it's about the first day of the Somme.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good.
Is it
bit
a
grim.
fiction, Steve? Is it just Just a
No, it's
story?
not fiction. It's just an outline of the happenings of the first day of the Battle of the Somme. Bit sobering, not the happiest of books. But I didn't even know I owned it.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
randomly found it on a bookshelf. And I thought, where have I got this from?
Okay.
Why have I not read it before? So
Yeah.
I just started reading it on my break at work, and yeah, I've got through about half of it.
Oh,
Really,
nice.
really good book, though.
Did Alex
Oh.
sneak into your house and put it there?
It's like
Well, actually, I've actually got quite a few books about that. I hope
It's
so.
like
I hope
randomly
not.
depositing First World War books in everyone's.
Yeah, but at least Alex
libraries.
can find his
Just,
house, unlike Royal Mail.
That's true. That's very true.
some kind of like factual historical Santa that comes into your house and replaces all your common historical books with, here's the true story.
Yeah,
He's replaced all my Horus Heresy books with books about World War One. Speaking of the Horus Heresy, I'm so far behind on it. I gave up years ago.
Oh, no, the Siege of Terror is like a new beginning. It's like, even if you haven't read the other Horus Heresy books, it's all right to start with the first one and go through them, to be fair.
Can you show that book again, Martin?
Yes, certainly. It is. Hang on. Hang on a second.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get rid of it.
will.
Make yourself big.
I will make myself. Quite you. It's this one here. Edward IV and the Wars of the Roses by David Santoniste, and it's by it's a pen and sword book, but you can get it on Amazon for about a tenner. I picked this up at Bosworth. I went to Bosworth and ended up buying a book about Edward. Rather than Richard, so
Yeah, like you do.
Exactly.
That's
I know who my
yeah, no, that's cool. That's awesomeness. Right, so who's in the chat tonight then? So we've got Lazy Pirate Painting, Evil Jim Reaper's in the house, Mark, Ham and Jam. Does that say Satchel?
No.
Satchel. I can't pronounce that. Satchel? Satchel?
But you know,
Apologies if I got your name wrong. John. the evening, gents.
Satchel.
Satchel, yeah, I did pronounce it right, yeah.
Satchel.
Yeah, Bricker City, Carazette, Rev Reg. Oh, that's a bit of a tongue twister.
Rev
Reg. Lionheart Road Trooper, Friends of General Haig, Benjamin's in the house, Richard's in the house, Glenn. Go on, say it.
Gwindor.
That's it.
Ed.
Ed.
East Norfolk's in the house, Dan's in the house, Sam Ferguson's in the house, Duke Wellington, welcome. Storm of Steel, Simon Stokes, Robin, Mike, Craig, Red Steph, Mobile and Hostel. Double dip every time.
Do you double dip every time? Really? Okay.
Not Bennett. Yeah, I can't fucking every time that gets me. Every time. Every fucking time I read that, it gets me. Gary, Steve, Alan, Ian, Hartman's in the house. Sander Van Der Ster. Yeah, I think I pronounced that right. Apologies if I didn't. Miller. Neil Miller. Alan's in the house. Full faint shit.
Miller.
Miller. And it's done that stupid thing where it's gone to the bottom. Oh, for freak's sake. Right, apologies if I've missed you, but thank you very much for tuning in. Very much appreciated. So, tonight's topic, gentlemen, we're not going to start it right away, obviously, but just give the viewers a little bit of food for thought. Pre-painted miniatures, is it just for board games? So, get your comments going in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it is just for board games, or do you think that pre-painted miniatures are completely fine or not? So, what we've been up to this week then, gents, I can start with me. I've started painting some lifeguards for the Napoleonics. I've been pissing about with the contrast paints, to be fair, with the red. So I've decided to try and embrace this new Napoleonic army and go for stuff a little bit different. So I'm using, instead of one color of red coat, I'm using two. So all my uniforms will be a blend between one color and another color. So I'm not going to have this same red throughout the whole army. That makes sense. So each unit's going to have a mixture of different uniform reds. So I'm going to do that. And that's better. It goes against my OCD-ness, but I just want it to be a little bit more realistic, I guess. But obviously they're 3D printed and they're very nice figures. but I had to. I'll show them once they're completed. And my flags arrived the other day, so I can get my flag from the King Germ Legion stuck on their base now. But I'll show them off next week once they're fully done. But that's me. What about you, Dom? Let's go.
Okay.
If they were British cavalry, then as I'm sure Dom's about to bring up, you might as well just put them in the bin after what
I was only going to mention that later on, but yeah, now you mention it. How well did your British cavalry do at the weekend?
Well, shall I?
You take it. You show the pictures.
I suppose. Sorry. So Dom and I and Miller, we went to the Napoleonic out east meetup.
Yeah, saw
game.
Yep.
So there was a dust up on one table with 4 players, and then me and Dom. So we're playing. So here
we realised we hadn't actually played against each other.
We've never had a game against each other of anything. So there we are, and Ed Miller, and people. I forgot everyone's name. Nick and everyone else in the background. So their game was particularly large and awesome looking. So Dom was using a French / Württemberger force, and I went essentially Hanoverian with some British allies. It wasn't exactly British with Hanoverian allies, was it? It was just mostly Hanoverian.
No. There's a lot of Hanoverians, to be honest.
I was going to say, Dom, you couldn't just have a fully French force, could you? That's just
I have to do a point of order with my esteemed colleague there. I think in the French army there was on the beginning of the game there was literally one French unit. Everything else was allied. And then the old guard came on almost at the very end, and Martin managed to land a rocket in the middle of them, and they didn't move forward after that.
It's the only thing that went well. The only thing on my side. But I said, it is the only thing that on my side that did anything.
It was. To be absolutely honest, it was. Now, how about the Coldstream Guards? How did they go?
Oh, well, listen. So we both ended up with a whole cavalry brigade. So we had we had about 200 cavalry figures, didn't we?
Probably.
That smashed into each other.
Yeah.
Really?
All on one flank. It was very
impressive.
They're hussars at the front. They're hussars, aren't they?
They're my hussars. That's why I think
his hussars, and they're my mounted Jaegers.
He came smashing into me. He charged a length of the board in turn 1. And he came smashing into me. I failed to countercharge. Then my hussars saw off his
stuff at the
Jaegers. Front.
I managed to roll no saving rolls at all.
Then my hussars charged into these guards behind. They killed all the hussars.
Yeah.
Then the Scots Grey.
Yes, they charged the Scots Greys.
Then they charged the Scots Greys and killed the Scots Greys.
Yeah.
And then my guys charged yours.
No, they ran off the table.
And they ran off the table, and they were shaking. So by turn 2, I had no cavalry left.
By the end of turn 2.
Shit.
And there was just a massive, but Dom's cavalry after that. I mean, he essentially the unit of the match from Dom had my Mamluks, and they essentially just rode around. They didn't get into combat. They just went around supporting everyone. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then I got forced into square, and then this was sort of give you an idea of what was happening on the Hanoverian side of things. I was just trying to turf his Württembergers out of this bloody building, and I just couldn't get them out. Now I know how Ken felt that time that he was coming up the hill at me.
Oh, damn! It's not nice.
But it was a great game. But what Dom is alluding to is I had the Coldstream Guard, right? They formed that first fire. They took out
5 dice.
Five dice. Shake a unit first time. Brilliant. I have another. I think I had the Cambridgeshire Regiment next to the Triple X's. Bang, 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 bang. All great. Next coming up is this poxy little Italian column who smash into the Coldstream Guard. And I'm sitting there going, amazing, cool. I've got Italian. I've got 7 dice. I'm gonna own this. In one round of combat, these Italians obliterated the Coldstream Guard.
Absolutely murdered them.
Were they some of your best rolls you've done, Dom?
No, I mean, I think they were. No. It wasn't outrageous. I think I did about 4 or 5. I think I did 4 hits, but I think Martin actually managed to miss every single saving roll. And then
he did change his dice. He did change his bloody dice. I did change his dice.
And you know what? I only did it.
How much did that wind him up?
I only did it just to annoy him because I didn't actually need to.
I tried to instigate a rule whereby every time he changed his dice, I got a victory point.
Yeah.
That
That would have given you 4 victory points, which would have helped you a job.
Yes, so we did the fortunately there was a really large table behind me that I could just put my casualties on. So when we worked it out at the end of the battle, when it was based on 1 point shaken, 2 point destroyed, then we had a couple of objectives. Dom had 39 points and I had 11. So I was thoroughly
fairly close.
I never got past the halfway point on the board. Dom did the first turn, brigade order, the columns just went smash up the table,
down the table,
and I was straight on the defensive. I just couldn't, which is great for a British player, but I just couldn't get any momentum.
But I think what you'd done, you'd had your reserve brigade was most of your British. You only had one small brigade on the table of Brit, the rest were the Hanoverian and the cavalry. But that didn't work to your favour because I've smashed up the table. The Hanoverian beat up the British, and then the Hanoverians just kind of went, not sure we really fancy attacking today, and sat back. And then, so by the time his reinforcements came on, it was kind of a bit.
They were just sort of looking at it. They went,
oh, shit. And then the Highlanders came charging up the table all alone and got a whole load of canister in their flank. That was quite nice.
Then the other game looked ace as well. So yeah,
very good. Good fun.
Keep an eye out on Ed's channel. I know he took a load of photos, but yeah, it was great fun. It was great.
Oh, brilliant!
It was really
that's
good.
That's good to hear. Then so that was a really good game. Then you guys got up to.
And I think he's planning to do it again next year. So keep an eye out. And there was room for loads of people to go along.
And whereabouts in the country? Sorry,
it's near me. It's a place called Stanton near Bury, near where I live in Bury St Edmunds. But it's the whole industrial park is a former World War II. They're all just old Nissan huts and old World War II buildings. Although it did say someone went to have a drink of water, and the chap said, "Don't drink the water. We don't pay for it." It's just like, so it's probably using the same pipes that were plumbed in 39.
It did feel a bit like that.
It was lovely, but it's great. But they had a great stock of stuff. Scale 75 paints. There was loafers, and there was a charity raffle as well, which was ace. So we all got to have a bit of that. So that was.
Did you win anything? Any of you?
I've got some French hussars. Stop laughing.
I got some Hanoverians I'm going to paint up and give to Martin, see if he can make them work any better.
I got some hussars that it's only been 5 years. I'll see if I can paint them up without having an annual. But I'll let Dom carry on now because I knew Dom was going to bring it up, so I thought I'd just get it out, get the slaughter out of the way.
Yeah, so it was good fun. I have to say it was nice. It's always nice to get a mass battle out, isn't it? A load of Napoleonics on the table, 28
absolutely
mils.
nothing there.
So, oh yeah, Miller says, don't forget the unit of cavalry that managed to go literally from one side of the table to the other twice. It's true. My God, my horse grenadiers, only a small unit. They forced a couple of units into square, went behind the guns, and then decided because they're out of command, they better march back to their own lines, and then they went back again.
They basically targeted one of my batteries at the back, and we decided, even though it's not in the black powder rules, that because all of my units were my supporting, basically all my infantry near the cannon had gone into square, that if there was a cavalry unit that was so close to it and behind it, we just said, "No, I'm just going to take a break test, and if I fail it, they go," because the cannon crew wouldn't just. It just didn't make any sense. A bit like the transport rule in bolt action. It just, it just didn't seem, what they're going to do is suddenly turn the battery of cannons around and go,
it's a fair point, isn't it?
It was so painting wise, what have I been up to? I have done some peasants for Epic. So it's a unit of them. So they are Militarium Doodle, that one. So they're just very small 15 mils, and they kind of work all right. So I did a unit of those. And these are quite pleased with the horse holders.
Are they going to be like a trained band or something? Or just like a marauding...
they're just in one of the army lists, I forget. Yeah, one of the army lists just has a whole load of peasants. So they're absolute rubbish. I just thought I'd use them. I thought they'd be fun. So then...
Who makes them, Dom?
These are military... What is that company that's closing down? A Militarium...
Magistrate.
That's it. Magistrate Militarium. Them. Which is a shame, actually. But so I picked up the villagers for that because there were a couple of guys with scythes and pitchforks. I thought that'd be ideal. And then these were the horse holders, dragoon horse holders. So I've got a couple of these to do as well. So
cool. I do.
They came out right. Yeah, it's always good, isn't it? And then I don't know what happened, but I did some French. So these are French Middle Guard Victrix.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I was assembling last week. I don't know. I just had a hankering to paint them, so I did. So I've got a unit of them. Still waiting for flags to come, but that'll be fine. I've got another unit to do as those.
That's a good shout. What do we think of that?
Well, we would have done, but your general was cowering.
Oh yeah, my general was already hiding in there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
you can't have
we did suggest that at the time. He
Yes.
said, "Oh, there's no room because your whole general staff was hiding in the bloody square." But yeah, that's what should have happened. And then also I did a couple of armored cars. So 231s. These are the 15 mil. No, these are Plastic Soldier Company, I think. Or are they?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they are Plastic Soldier Company. There you go. So for the O group, because I played a game a few weeks ago and I needed a 231 and I didn't have one. And then I realised I had an unpainted box, so I didn't. So that's what I've been up to.
Oh, fair enough. What about you, Martin? Let's go to you then, because obviously you and Dom have had a similar week by the sounds of it for gaming.
No, I didn't really paint anything. So I know someone posted a picture up in the stream, but I had a fairly busy week and was a tad distracted by
he was on the telly.
I was on the telly. Yeah, the BBC came to our site on probably the windiest day of the year to do some filming, and yeah, it'd been really, really busy. But I basically was getting Napoleonic ready. I did another base of my little 15s. So I just put them together. So I'm just increasingly, they're just getting bigger, the bases, so they're just a lot of fun. I just enjoy popping them on. It's just very easy to paint. So I've just done another one of those. I've got 30 archers in front of me and a load of Victrix cavalry, which I'm just working through at the moment.
Oh, nice.
But on top of for hobby wise, I didn't really get a great deal done apart from that. I was over on the Battle Bunker stream last night with Mel and Lee and everyone. That was good fun. But yeah, other than that, I did a bunch of CrackCons related stuff. Like read the Bushido rule book again. So I thought I'd get that read again.
That's useful.
Yeah, and no, just I had a little bit of a quieter week. You know, when you just got one of those really busy weeks. I thought if I I'd done quite a bit of stuff beforehand. I wanted to sort of enjoy, and I've been editing some videos as well. But yeah, that's all for me.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. What about yourself, Steve?
Even though I was massively not very well last week, I still managed to do a few bits and pieces when I wasn't either sleeping or on fire.
Oh, nice.
So a bit of everything, really. I started with some boring figures because I've got some really nice scenery updates that I'm really excited about. So I painted with the plastic bolt action French coming out. I thought I'd better have a look at my metal French and sort of take out what I'm going to keep when I get the plastic.
Yeah.
Are you going to swap out everything?
No. All the infantry's going. These are what I've kept. So
when you say going, do you mean sell?
Oh god, no! They'll be put in a box. So I just funkied these up. So we've got a medium machine gun team, a sniper team, and a medium morse team with spotter. So they got a new lick of paint, some new highlights, and some better basing.
Very nice.
I really enjoyed redoing them. The thing is, though, the support option models are brilliant. The infantry ones, they're just terrible. I just don't like them. So I've got 40 of them that I've already painted up. So they're all being put in a box. I'm not using them again because they're awful looking. And I also rescued this Char one.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah,
really nice.
I got that kit Black Friday 2018.
Wow.
I mean,
you got that kit before you knew me. Wow.
I know.
when he had a nice happy life.
Yeah.
And then randomly I painted these, which are some Wargames Atlantic halflings.
Yeah, I saw them earlier. They look quite look like Robin Hood-esque.
Well,
Maybe.
we've got a plan. So do you can play firefight using bolt action. So bolt action firefight, it's just like 10 men aside, smaller
Yeah.
table,
I
and
know where this is going.
each person gets a dice. We're doing it with Warlords of Erewhon. So we're going to use the Warlords of Erewhon rules, but have really small sort of 8 to 10 man war bands. And just pick from the actual, because with the Warlords of Erewhon list, you can work out what an individual figure costs with its upgrades and things like that. So that's all we're going to do is just basically, it's going to be a bit of it's not competitive by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be a sort of skirmish narrative RPG type thing.
Yeah.
But I've had those about 6 weeks now. They've been sat under there and I've not done anything with them. So I just painted them the other night. And yeah, really, really good. Nice figure to paint. But I have been working more on my Space Weirdo scenery.
Oh, here we go.
So last week I mentioned that my next step was to add lights. And I did. Ta-da!
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
Really cool.
It literally took about an hour to get these done. It just involved
Awesome.
just sawing off the dome, because the ones it came with had like a it was like the crystal maze. It was like a crystal dome, and the light was being all fired all over. Fired, yes, John, fired all over the place. So basically got a hacksaw, hacked them off. And what I've done is I've actually painted them now as well. The clear plastic just looked a bit out of place against the grim dark. So that's some red
a bit light bleed as well, doesn't it? The clear plastic.
Yes.
So once you've painted it, it's gonna
That is
control where it goes.
so cool.
That's so cool, Steve. It really is brilliant.
So
You're taking that to CrackCon, Steve?
Yes. So the lights.
See, I really want. I only got space, but that'd be perfect for so many games. Necromunda, Infinity, just so many cool games on that.
Yeah,
as you can see there, so that's the light at the top, because they're like tea lights, the LED tea lights. And all I've done is I've actually hacked the dome off and I've magnetized them to various parts of the scenery. So they can be removed and moved around.
Nice.
But what I've done now is I've added sort of plastic bits and pieces to them to look like a bit more industrial.
And what size is that board, Steve, in total now?
2x2.
It's 2x2, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So what's that one there? So that's sort of it before the lights went on.
Lights just change it completely, don't they?
They just add something to it.
But then before, but they're even better with the lights.
But then I was looking at something. There was something about the scenery that I didn't like, and it was the rust, because all I'd done was used an orange Vallejo rusty paint and I dabbed it on with sponge.
I saw what you went and bought. What do you think of it?
Oh, it's liquid talent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason I picked this up was I was watching Magrathea, Builder of Worlds, last week on his latest sump build, and he's using this stuff, and it's dirty down rust.
Ooh.
It's just a soluble paint. And I spent Saturday, because it arrived Saturday morning. As soon as it arrived, I ripped open the envelope and straight up here with a brush.
It's really basic stuff, because they used to be called model mates, and they were sort of it was based around sort of initially they were sort of like for trains and stuff.
Yeah.
But the rust, like it's just amazing. They had rust, they had moss and all sorts.
I mean, that is just. I couldn't believe the effect I was getting just using straight out the pot. And the good thing about it is you can splat it on heavy, or you can dry brush it on like sort of lighter rust. And the way it dries, it's just. I mean, I was just.
How much was that then, Steve?
It was £8 for the bottle. It's quite a small one as well, so it's not cheap. And I used about half the bottle.
I'd imagine with that much terrain, yeah. Geez, Louise.
Just on this scenery. But it's just it's elevated what I mean. I already liked the scenery I was doing, but this rust effect has just elevated it to something.
That's cool, Steve.
They do a series of sprays as well. Ken, it's the spray I showed you before, which you could do, the oily spray, which it's like a dye, and you can use it underneath like rolling stock, and it gives this oily sheen on everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
But because it's a dye and it's not sort of a solvent, I guess, even though it's in a.
I'll have to get a pot for the top of top of carriages. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, this one,
awesome.
like I say, all I did was use an old sort of stiffly dry brush, and put it on a little saucer and just dabbed it on, and then you can really work with it.
Yeah.
And so some of it's like quite really bright, but if you just splash it on randomly, it just works so well. It's just like, and so it took about an hour to do the entire lot on Saturday afternoon. And yeah, totally blown away by it. It looks so good. Definitely my product of the year that I've discovered. So yeah, big thanks to Tim from Magrathia for that. It's just a brilliant one. And I've been working on some scatter for the Space Weirdos board as well. So tonight I posted pictures of this in the group. I built a doctor's surgery.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
And I've got all the bits of scatter from Mantic from the terrain crate. I also bought these as well, which is some resin toxic pools. So I picked those off Amazon. But next up on the board, should be arriving tomorrow. I'm going to make a background for it.
Oh, nice.
So when I'm doing pictures of it, you're not just seeing walls and Ken's face. So I've got. So yeah, I bought some plastic boards and some wire mesh. So they'll be arriving tomorrow, hopefully, and I'll be cracking on with those once I've done the scatter. But I've said before, in the past I've not enjoyed making scenery. This has completely changed my opinion. I mean, it's all Games Workshop pre-made. Well, not pre-made, but I've not scratch built anything as such. So, but I've really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it all on the board and lit up at CrackCon. It's going to be really interesting to play. But as well, I'm planning to use it for Judge Dredd and Strontium Dog as well, because they're both 2x2.
ABC Warriors, you're gonna.
When it comes out, yes, hopefully very, very soon. But I mean, Strontium Dog, and it's a shame that game's in the back burner. You can't get the figures anymore. I don't think it's being supported anymore. Absolutely fantastic game. I mean, Judge Dredd is very much like it. The rules are 99.9% similar.
Judge Dredd, that was Mantic, wasn't it?
Mantic? No, Warlord Games have originally one. Yeah, because they've got.
Oh, they bought it. It was Mantic there originally.
I think they was it. I can't remember.
No, it's always been Warlord.
It's always been Warlord.
Which one am I thinking of?
Hellboy is.
Hellboy,
Mantic.
that's it. Yeah,
they've got the board game.
Yeah, that's it. Hellboy.
But yeah, this scenery is just. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to take on a life of its own. And this time next year, I'll be talking about my 6 foot by 6'4" board, completely covered in Zone Mortalis scenery and lit.
Oh man, if you do that,
your entire living room is just going to be full of it, and you're just going to have to work our way around it.
It's been an eye opener, and I think I've got so many ideas for expanding as well, because I want to go from 2x2 to 3x3, and then make it bigger, and then just start looking at more of these skirmish games. So it's like I say, it's for Space Weirdos. I'm going to use it for like Judge Dredd, Strontium Dog, Zona Alpha.
Nice.
Someone was asking, do you reckon we can persuade Ian to turn the lights down so we can have the full effect of it?
The thing is that I mean, I think you'll still be able to see it. They're not massively strong. They're only like LED tea lights, but yeah. So yeah, it's all go on the Space Weirdos front.
Awesome.
Oh, nice, dude. That's really cool. That's awesome. I was looking during the week at the Facebook group, and I was seeing all your pictures with all the lights, and I just think it adds another level of awesomeness. So,
I wasn't gonna do it. I really wasn't gonna do it.
Oh no, I'm glad you did.
But then I saw a video. It's from a guy called Warhammer Man. He's called Warhammer Man. And he'd done it using these same tea lights. I looked at it because there's no wiring, there's no anything. They're just the remote control, and they're all magnetized. They're all magnetized. So yeah, I prefer simple things. So that's why
everyone's listing off everyone who's owned Judge Dredd, but Ken would have been missed because Ken has a 12-month memory. It's like a goldfish, but longer term, slightly.
Yeah.
Mongoose. And
I thought them just random mentions of mongoose in there. I was thinking, what the hell's all that about? All right. Awesome.
Dear. Right, cool. Okay then. So on to tonight's topic. And painted miniatures then. Is it just for board games? Let's have a little look, see what the chat have been saying. So there we go. So Raven66, pre-painted miniatures appeal for things like X-Wing. I think that it's due to the scale and quantity. Other than that, it's never appealed to them. As a general, rescuing, what's that say? Yeah, rescuing them is more effort than, as in general, rescuing is more effort than painting from grey. Okay, so I know Dom's had a inkling to do with the rescuing side of things, but if we start with the X-Wing, Steve, you're the go-to guy for X-Wing then.
I think
if X-Wing wasn't pre-painted, would you still play it?
I mean, I don't play it anymore anyway, but back in the day, that was one of the appeals because you could literally go to the shop, excuse me, get the thing off the shelf, get it home, and straight away you've got it on the board. You've got to read the cards, but there's no painting, there's no assembly, there's no nothing. It's just straight out, put it on, and that was one of the big appeals to me for X-Wing was because they look nice as well, and there's certain things that you don't.
Yeah, they're not a bad paint job, are they? Really, let's be honest. For pre-painted, they're actually. I'm not going to lie, they're pretty good. They're pretty nice paint jobs.
The only ones I repainted was the B wings. I wanted different patterns to distinguish them. I think I put some weathering on the Millennium Falcon as well. But apart from that, no, just straight out the box. And that was a big appeal. Same with Armada as well, pre-painted straight out the box.
Yeah, they're all painted as well, aren't they? They're all
apart from the little ships, so the X-wings and the Y-wings, the TIE fighters, they're not painted. They're plain plastic. But the big ships, really, really, really good. So that appealed to me. I mean, Robin's just made a point there. Very close to a board game in feeling. For me, I never classed it as a tabletop war game. I sort of there was a sort of a board game feel to it.
Is it?
Yeah, because you've got your 3x3 thing. You got tokens. It felt more like a board game than an actual sort of tabletop war game. But if the miniatures would have been, I don't know if they hadn't been painted, I probably would have still got into it because it's Star Wars. But I wouldn't have been happy. Nousing up because I don't think I do a very good job on them, so I wouldn't want to sort of ruin them.
Yeah, so for me, I think you've got a very fair point there. I think there's a little bit of a boat been missed from Warlord. I think Blood Red Sky stuff, if that came pre-painted, I think that would entice me more to get into it. Maybe I think it's quite nice like to have that pre-painted option, or you have the plain option. I know there's so many different camos you got in Second World War for your planes, but if you've got an option to have just like pre-painted stuff, I think that would entice me a little bit more.
I said just before the stream started, what if is it Black Seas? What if they came pre-painted, pre-sailed, and pre-rigged?
I
mean, I know you can get people to do it. But,
each.
Well, no, because you can buy. I've seen those sort of ships that you can, people do. Obviously, it would be more expensive, but would you pay more? Would you pay? I mean, I don't even know how much they are anyway for a single ship, but like, would you pay, for example, double that for it to be pre-painted and pre-rigged for that kind of game?
Probably would, because you don't. I mean, probably sounds like the key for this is how many things you actually need. You don't need many figures, and it's the same with those. If you play Windy Boat Game, you only need 6 ships, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, James makes the point that Wings of War is the same thing. Yeah, they have pre-painted minis. I'd forgotten about those actually. But
that's
very, very nice. Stuff. Really good shout. So I was thinking, I don't think I've ever used any, but I have certainly used Wings of War. Very nice. Games
Workshop aren't going to do it, but if they brought back a Battlefleet Gothic pre-painted miniatures, that's something I could go for. I wouldn't mind that.
The thing is, and I've said in the past, but I don't like playing with figures that I've not painted myself.
Yeah, this is very true.
True.
But you don't mind it. Yeah, but you don't mind it with that.
That's it. Red Stuff, Sails of Glory. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Glory.
Yeah, they're pre-painted.
Excuse me.
I was just like,
just on the Google, just 1 minute. Thank you. No,
is it good? Let me know if they're good prices, Dom. Yeah. Actually, no, I can't afford that anymore. I'll get shot.
You're not allowed. They are, aren't they? They come in little boxes like Wings of.
Yeah, don't do this to me.
They're good price, mate. Yeah. Don't know what scale they are. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
Who
great
cares?
one,
Just buy those and use those, and everything's.
I've already got a whole load of black. I've already got a load of windy boat game ships. I don't need any more.
No, you don't need any more.
But they look good. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Never heard of that before.
It's different, isn't it? So why not? No, that's cool. So yeah, so for you, Steve, it depends on the situation then. So it depends on, like you say, it depends on what it is. Because I've seen some really, like, you can get down by me, there's a company that do 6 or 7 like little war band. I can't remember what they are now, but I will remember. But they're fantasy and they're pre-painted. And you can use them for like D&D, and they're half decent paint job. But they're only like £25, like 6 or 7 figures pre-painted, and they're pretty good quality, to be fair. And I put them in my armies just like the odd piece, so it wouldn't bother me per se. But for you, it's more the fact of
the X-Wing was convenient because that was where X-Wing was just about playing the game. There was people,
no collection,
but there was no real hobby aspect to it. There was no sitting down and painting and spending hours. Your ship was done, and to be fair, it was more about the game than the ship. I mean, it looked nice when you put it on the tabletop, but no, I couldn't do it with anything other than X-Wing or Armada.
That's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. So the other part of that question then, Dom, rescuing minis and painting up pre-existing painted stuff. So from eBay, you've done a few eBay rescues, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I was thinking about this, about the whole prepaid bit, and also about, and I guess it is similar to the eBay rescue. I mean, I think the thing about I don't know many pre-painted models, so I can't really judge them. But the ones I have seen, they seem almost too perfect. They're done because they're done exactly the same, aren't they? So I would imagine that if you were using them, you'd want to sort of adapt them slightly, even if it's just putting a little bit of a different color on them, or putting a wash on them, or just making them slightly less perfect. Which is kind of what I do with, if I do find some nice figures on eBay or something, or even if I buy some and they just arrive and they're not quite as good as I thought they might be, I'll touch them up in some way.
I was going to say, Dom, when you're perusing eBay for what's your criteria? When will you say, no, they're pre-painted, but I don't want to buy them?
I mean, if they really look absolute cack, then no, I'm not going near them. I mean, they have to look half decent. And my ideal is I don't have to do anything to them. Yeah. I mean, if they arrive and they're perfect, then that's what I want. So it's generally only if they're just such a steal. If they arrive and I see them online, and I just think, wow,
that's cheap.
That's so cheap. It's just got to be worth it, even if they're not the best in the world. And I bought some before now, which turned out which were pretty good paint job, but they were so shiny, and all I did was matte varnish them, and after that, it looked absolutely amazing. They could have gone for about 4 times the price. So it's you can do all kinds of little bits and bobs with them, but I mean, that's not to say I haven't had ones that arrived and I went, oh, sugar, and they've gone straight into the box of doom. Or sometimes being resold. I've done that before. Now resold them for actually more money. So
Oh, that's all right.
Some of the old minifiggy ones often do that. So yeah, I mean, as we talked about before, I don't have any compunction in using somebody else's figures. Well, all those Württembergers were painted for me by Sean that were in that battle on Sunday. So I don't have a problem with it at all if they're nice figures and they're painted well. And it's the same, I guess, if I ever saw pre-paint. I mean, I do, again, in that battle, you would have seen one of the buildings that the Württembergers were defending. These things, Conflicts buildings. I've got a load of these things. These are all pre-painted.
They were really cool. They were really nice.
I mean, 21 quid for that building, pre-painted. It's a bit perfect, but 15 quid for that one, 16 quid. So so I do use that sort of thing. I have no problem with it at all. They're pre-painted.
No, that's cool, man. That's I think for a lot of people, it's the right situation at the right time. I don't know about you, Martin. to be fair, I don't know if you have got any pre-painted figures, have you?
Me,
You
I've got
use-
X-wing. I've got X-wing.
Oh, you got X-wing, have you?
Yeah, I played X-wing for ages. Well, I didn't play the second edition. I got I just basically when it changed, I didn't buy anything else. I got loads of old WizKid stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of joy out of building them as well. I enjoy building things and adding my own little take on them. Not necessarily maybe kit bashing, but I just like, working out how I can do what I can do. And nothing is going to be painted the way I particularly want it to be painted.
Yeah, that's that as well.
I think for wargaming, part of the fun is developing your own force and your own theme and your own, researching a certain unit and putting that on it. I mean, if you had the option to buy a pre-paint, no, Warlord did do pre-painted tanks for a while. I just remembered they did pre-painted tanks.
Yeah,
don't remember.
Yes,
that.
they did. They did do pre-painted tanks.
I don't think it lasted very long, and they were very. From what I remember, they were quite very basic paint jobs, weren't they?
Yeah, but I'm sure. Yeah, they did do them. I'm sure they did. I don't know if maybe I'm just making this. Hang on, I'm gonna have a pre-painted battle-ready tanks.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
I never remember that.
Hang on. But no, I've done a few eBay rescues as well. But what I would do is I wouldn't buy anything. I basically look for models that were just base coated, so they'd just done the base coating. So the flesh and the base of his, and I was like, right, because that's really not going to change from how
You can just
I'm
lean it
gonna
up,
do
can't
it.
you? Yeah.
Now I can do that. Basically, someone's just done that bit for me. Essentially what I would
Painful
call
part.
the paint by numbers part. If you know what I mean, like great coat grey, flesh, Shaco black. Gators white. They've done that. And from there, I would. He just disappeared. Just disappeared.
The device is not connected. He's at home though, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, he's at home.
He's going to be very, very unhappy. Yeah, I've just found it. Look, here's the Warlord ones. There you go. They were the ones that they did.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they did.
They're airbrushed, aren't they?
No, I don't know, but they're fine.
Airbrushed. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're basic.
There you go. They
quick, easy.
That's,
quick, easy paint job, isn't it?
Yeah, but they were expensive.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. But
the Perry's have got a list on their website, haven't they? For
the connoisseur stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think Miller's just mentioned that.
Yeah, connoisseur stuff. But again, it depends what you're paying for. So I think in X-Wing, remember X-Wing, apart from a couple of them, were single piece, pre-molded, and the paint jobs were, quite, for X-Wing, it was like there's a few red bits of the blue bit here, and Millennium Falcon here. But when you start getting into, if you pre-painted figures, you're probably talking, where someone actually takes it off the sprue and paints it until we have the ability to print
cost,
them
isn't there?
or cast them. Yeah, so you're paying for time. You're paying for time. And you're not paying for necessarily quality. You're paying for time.
Painted, pre-colored, 3D printed miniatures. That's just going to change my life.
You're not going to have a life for 18 years, mate.
That killed the vibe, didn't it?
Oh, sorry. I'll let that sink in for a minute.
Like Martin said before, though, for me, painting is such a large part of the hobby. If someone said, here's a fully bought pre-painted army, I'd be like, well, it's just a bit sterile, isn't it? Just a bit. I don't know.
I'd say I'm the opposite now. I want to play some more games. I can't be asked for the painting. At the minute, I just want to play some games. So, I'd like to, the Normans I traded. I'm glad that I've got those now, because that means I've always got that historical force, which I can play with at any time. I can do loads of different stuff with it.
I would be, if someone offered me an army, a really, really well painted army, and for something, then I'd consider doing that. But I wouldn't really. I'm not. That's different. That's or someone being commissioned to do something, or you're buy that to me. That's someone that's pre-painted. That's not a company pre-painting the miniatures for you. You're not buying those new pre-painted, are you?
No, exactly.
So yeah, it's slightly different. I mean, it is interesting because I've got friends who they use for RPGs. They use like Lego stuff.
Do you know what I was gonna use, because I've got a shitload of Lego minifigs. I was gonna use Space Weirdos, a Star Wars version using Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think it would work so
Yeah,
well.
of course it would.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to dig them all out. I'm going to have a game of Space Weirdos using Lego.
That would be awesome.
Why not?
That would be awesome.
In fact,
Yeah, well.
if anyone's coming to CrackCon and fancies a game of Star Wars Space Weirdos using Lego, let me know.
I'll do it. I'm up for that. Definitely up for that.
Lego is good.
But yeah, I think, but you put a lot of yourself into your painting. But again, it's what people want from the hobby. Like you were saying, people who are potentially just gamers or more into that aspect of things would be happy to buy pre-painted armies. So if you could buy, if someone could buy, just here is a US para force. There you go, £100 unpainted, £250 painted. You know, but it's just. But is it just? You'll probably just have it just be camo green. Flesh face, probably a bit splodgy, and then you're going to touch it. You know, I wouldn't be happy with that. I would want to do my own spin on my army and do things my way.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's my point. Is that I like my
time comes down to a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of realizing now, like you keep saying, taking the piss. So you're not going to have a life. No, I'm generally not. Probably for the first, at least probably for the first year, I wouldn't imagine I'm going to get any sort of major time for myself.
First year, you don't do anything now, and you're not a dad.
No, I will.
Like you do bare is like, no offense, like you don't do anything now, and it's funny because not me.
It's gonna be painful,
no, you can have the time, but you've just got to, obviously your priorities change, talking about, so your priorities will change, and paint, and if gaming is your priority, then you will accept buying stuff and doing things there. I wanted to game and paint, so I kind of split it 50-50. I can't think. I've bought a pre-painted unit at a show before, but again, that was at a bring and buy kind of thing. I've done that, but again, when I got back, I rebased them and sorted out some of the.
You put your own bits on it, basically, didn't you?
I basically dry brushed them.
I'll tell you what, that dry brush that you use with deck tan, I don't care what anyone says, that deck tan dry brush does definitely change the figure. 100% at the end, if you just want to uplift it a
bit wear and tear. But yeah, I think it's it'd be interesting. I'd like maybe that is something we'd see, but I think again for skirmish games it might be a little bit better.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Dom has completely disappeared, hasn't he?
Hang on, I'm just checking.
Has he messaged us?
I was just trying to have a look to see if he had.
Sorry,
folks, we're having technical difficulties with one of our partners right now.
No, nothing.
I wonder if he has completely lost internet then.
I don't know.
Either that or he's had a power cut and he'd be really pissed.
He did seem quite keen on those pre-painted ships. Maybe he's just maybe the temptation was too much for him. He's buggered off to buy lots and lots of pre-painted ships.
Yeah, maybe. Let's have a little look, see what's going in the comments. I'm gonna scale back up a little bit. So Battlefront apparently shaking through do pre-painted plastic tanks. Oh, for tanks, yes, I have seen that. Yes, they do some pre-painted stuff. No, you are right. Very basic paint job, but yeah, it's just get straight in. I swear to God, Miller, battle ready. Is it good? 2016, apparently, that was when Warlord did those battle ready tanks.
Was it really?
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah.
Blind.
Apparently so. Yeah, apparently so. Bricker City's just commenting on my face when it says "Welcome to life" and kid.
Imagine if you had.
That could be Dom. I heard a Facebook ping.
Imagine if. Oh no, that was me sending him a message saying, "Are you okay?"
Oh, okay.
But no. Imagine if you had twins.
No, I've already had a scan, so no, it's not happening. Fuck off, Martin.
Martin, do you think
she had to jiggle her hips so the baby moved live. We saw it. It's fine.
I'm sure she'd really appreciate you sharing that as well.
Yeah. Martin, do you think the auction a sandwich bag chat would appreciate pre-painted miniatures?
I no, because do you know what? Someone else pointed out to me, one of my friends who was there for that. Do you know what he found the most offensive thing about that is that the guy didn't use the cable ties that were provided. He just tied a knot in the bags. And that's what my friend was most upset about, was that those, obviously when he went to take those miniatures out, he'd have to tear them open because he's
you're joking.
That guy. Oh god. I mean, you do get some level of prepaid because, like with the epic stuff, you get the red team and the blue team, and but I think it would. I think it would definitely appeal, but again, it increases cost quite drastically in what is already a luxury niche hobby. So,
I think with some people, though, I mean, I've mentioned my mate Pete before, so I've known Pete for years. He was one of my OG wargaming friends, and he had zero interest in the hobby, the painting side of it. He just didn't. He loved the games. He just loved. We used to call him Mr. Tin, because every army he had was just metal and unpainted metal, based up. But yeah, he didn't paint a single thing. In fact, he paid some guy to paint his epic orc army, massive orc army. This guy took him about a month to paint it, and it was exquisite. But he didn't normally do that. But his whole thing with the hobby was he liked the tactical side of it, the rolling dice, just the actual game. I've never met anyone who had so little interest in the painting side.
I think we all have one of those. My mate Nick is exactly the same. He loves Napoleonic history. He loves Risk, loves board gaming, loves role-playing games. Doesn't want to paint. Tried doing painting once, hated it, didn't want to do it ever again. He was just like, just tell me when you're playing a game and I'll come and play.
Yeah, don't want to paint. Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? It's not for some people, it is for others. But
that's what
Daniel,
I was going to say.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, go on. No. Dermot just said it. What about the Woe Fun games? You know, the 10 mil 2D card. You know, hand drawn.
Happy with that? Yeah, that's cool with me. That's cool with me. I'm all over that. Yeah, no, trust me. I'm tempted to buy it myself, to be fair. There's some cool stuff in there. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I don't think that's any sort of like, I think that's a really cool thing, because if you like the look of it, aesthetics, at the end of the day, you're seeing just a lot of like, it might not be 3D pictures, but you're seeing a lot of coloured pictures, aren't you? So yeah.
Oh, are they the ones that there's two. Yeah, I remember Leon. He was showing them, and they've always fascinated me. They really had.
Yeah.
There's just something about them. I just think it would. The tabletop would look so. I don't know. It would look so good.
What's it called again?
Woe Fun.
Because I see one. Is it a different one to what I've looked at? Oh yeah. No, this is class. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a really cool way to play different scales. Yeah. Now I might even get some myself or ask for some for Christmas, to be fair.
I do agree with Alex here. Do what you want. Unpainted figures, get the ban hammer on my yeah, I'm the same.
This
is a new player. Yeah, I don't like I don't like painted figures. It ruins the aesthetic. It ruins the game for me. But just bringing on to Daniel's comment, he's put a fully painted AWI armies. He would not normally do that, but a fellow gamer died and his wife was trying to clear out his things. Yeah, no, that's another point, isn't it? Is if something comes up and it presents itself to you, that you think to yourself, well, you know what I'm like. I like a bargain, don't I? If someone gives me a bargain, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I've actually told, and I've written this down, and I'm not even joking. I've told
not
Haley
to sell me anything,
not to give you anything ever,
not to sell me anything.
No, none of my stuff. I don't care. But you can have like any of like the furnishings. That you're just not having any of my figures. Ever. Not happening.
Just to piss you off, Mike.
No, I said you can give them to Steve and he can stick tufts all over him, but he'll keep it. I know he will. He won't sell them because Steve will feel bad, whereas you won't.
I wouldn't. No, I want your. I'll tell you what I do want. I want your German 15mm Battlefront stuff, Flames of War stuff.
You want my Operation Squad rule book? That's what you want.
And I want that. Yeah, and I want that. Yeah, don't I want that? 100%. I want that. Kenya will be pushing a pram a week. Fuck off, Gary. Cheers, Gary. I can do one though. Nah, you're all right. Maybe at night time I would. See, I'm a night owl, so I don't mind looking after the baby at night. It's all right. I've worked it out. I can take the baby up in the loft, and I can put it in one of them little swing chair things. And like, if it cries, I can just put some earplugs in. It'll be fine.
Can we just say that no parenting advice that is dispensed on the PCP is endorsed by anyone?
I love it that you think.
Well, I got told that you shouldn't always pick up a crying baby unless it's for a genuine, like, not every time. So if it wants some food, it's due a feed and it's crying. Yes, that's understandable. But if you fed it, you've changed it, and then it just starts whinging, you give it 10, 15 minutes, then you pick it up. Is that right or not?
Starting to understand you are the way you are now.
Thankfully, I've got no dog in this race, so I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna back out gracefully now.
You say all this now, but do you know what? This is your baby isn't coming pre-painted. Your baby needs I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Yeah. 1950s. Yeah, 1950s book said that. Yeah, I think that's what told me my mum. I am so innocent. I know.
Ken, I remember as well. Don't abandon him at Blackpool Beach.
My dad. Fucking dad. Oh my God. I reminded him of that the other day. I said, Dad, do you remember that time you just left me on Blackpool Beach and some random strange old lady sat with me until you came back? Yeah, my mum still gave him the starry eyes for that. Maybe I got swapped. Maybe I'm not Ken. Maybe I'm someone else.
Were they just hoping the tide was going to come in and just take you?
It was just my dad, I'll point out. It wasn't my mum. She went absolutely fucking apeshit, and he had to move out of the house for 2 weeks.
Try and trade you in for a donkey or something.
Oh, mate, I love donkeys. Do you know what? Speaking of donkeys, this is coming off a tangent now. We sponsor a donkey on the Isle of Wight. His name's Kinchy at the Donkey Sanctuary.
What do you mean we?
Me and Laura.
No.
Yeah, she did it.
Did it
as a memory surprise. It's called Kinchy. He's very cute.
Do you know what donkeys get for lunch on Blackpool Beach? Half hour.
Fucking hell.
Can we get back to talking about pre-painted miniatures?
The beach story. Nick Games is nearly crying. You should let your missus watch this. I'm not suicidal, so no.
No, it's all right. And we can always text the fun bits.
Okay, quick question. If a company decided they were going to do a fully pre-painted army, or possibly 2 pre-painted armies for a game,
yeah,
what price point are we looking at?
Ooh,
are we saying pre-painted? Like, are we just talking essentially base coat, like base coats?
Or we go average
so
with a wash? Yeah?
We could just whack strong tone over it and we're ready to go.
Yeah. So someone said two black powder armies, basically pre-painted.
Yeah.
And chuck in the rule book. What would people be willing to pay for that? And the big question is, would people be willing to pay for 2 pre-painted armies in a starter box?
I would, if it was the epic stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good question.
I don't know what is. They're about 120 quid.
Yeah, I would say if it was 28 mil, yeah, I paid 2.5 times the value.
I would say it'd be more. It would be more though, because you're saying
No, it would be more, but I would like if
So-
three times the value. I'd pay 3 times the value. I think.
So 500 quid essentially.
I was going to say,
Yes,
so what's
250
the,
an army.
what's the going rate for a black powder starter box?
Of-
Ooh.
The epic one or the
No,
Yeah,
normal,
which-
normal
Oh, the
28,
normal.
normal
Christ.
28 mil.
Oh, that's
80
hard
quid,
because
isn't
it's got the rule.
80 quid.
Yeah, it's because it's got the rule book in it.
Do you think people will be willing to say, if they're pre-painted, either double or triple that? So straight out the box, there's no painting white stripes on people.
Yeah, I would pay triple, probably.
I personally think people would be more willing to pay if it was a usable army straight away.
Mhm.
And most of the black powder starter armies aren't usable straight away. They're basically one brigade. So the epic size one, yes, because you just like you're saying with X-Wing, you just get it out the box and put it on the table.
You're done,
right?
Yeah.
You could pay 500 quid, for example, for your French army. It's not even a starter army; it's a French army. You put the whole thing on the table and it's done. No paints, no basing material, no time investment. It's done. You've paid 500 quid, but what's your hourly rate? Work it out. Just think about it that way. Whereas a black powder, you're going to be, if it's 28 mil, you're going to be buying 3 of those.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it wouldn't be economically viable. Would it be economically viable from both sides though? If a company's pre-painting armies like that, are they, when you factor in the materials, the time, the labor, are they ever going to make that money back from what the time that they paid the staff to paint those figures compared to the amount of people that's actually going to buy them? But it might work. Imagine bolt action. Let's switch to bolt action. Imagine one of those 1,000-point starter armies, basically painted, copy the rule book, or even two. The Band of Brothers box. Imagine that. Everything's painted straight at the box. You'd be playing, within a day. Everything's painted. You got a nice looking tabletop.
Yeah,
I think you're more likely to be able to do that because again, it's a usable force on the table straight away. That's the thing, isn't it? If you have to buy multiples of these things, if you could, and that's why. And you said it, Chelsea. That's why X-Wing is so good. You go to the shop, you take it off the shelf, you pop it out, and you put it on the table. It's done.
You're done.
Yeah.
If you've got to keep buying multiple versions of it, then it's not the same, really, is it? I mean, it'd have to be cost effective, as you say, cost effective for them to produce it.
That was what I said. One of the things I loved about X-Wing was that I knew that if I was going to the hobby shop to get, go on a bit of a Star Wars trek, there'd be no painting side involved in it. It would just come home, bust it open in the car on the way home, read the rules, read the cards, look at its stats, get home, already be thinking about how I'm going to build a list with it. And painting doesn't even come into it. And I really like that. I mean, it's like I say, it's very strange that I would use miniatures that I've not painted, but X-Wing was a completely different pit of Sarlacc compared to any other ones. It's just different, and it's only one ship. It's just but with the black powder and bolt action ones, there'd be a lot, especially the black powder ones. There'd be lots of figures.
That's why I think it would be viable and realistic in a smaller scale. So if and the most realistic way would be if, for example, yes, Warlord offered a pre-painted French army for £500 and you just buy it because the whole thing is done. Are you all right, Dom?
Yeah, sorry, chaps. I think I must have kicked the cables. My web camera went down and I couldn't get it to restart. I had to restart the whole PC. So apologies for that.
You missed some Ken's amazing. I won't go back over it, but basically Ken's going to parenting advice is to put the baby in the loft and don't go in. And if it cries for only if it cries for more than 15 minutes.
Oh,
go to it.
Nice.
So
good. I expect to see you on the telly for child cruelty at some point soon, mate.
Yeah.
Your area is covered by my my local news as well, so I'm sure I'll see you. I'll say, I used to know him.
Yeah, I think Alex got a point there. They wouldn't be staff. It'd be a sweatshop, and it would be. That's exactly what it'd be. I mean, do you think you're going to get a? I mean, Dom, you've had armies painted by Sean on commission. And Sean's work is fantastic. I don't think you're going to get that level of quality, are you, anywhere? If it's going to be prepaid, Martin said it's going to be your basic colours.
Do you know? I don't know that. I think you'd be surprised what's out there. I'm always surprised what quality you can get for a surprisingly low amount of money, and that's without even trying some of these proper Switch. Actually, I'm not going to say that, but there are companies overseas that you can use that do painting services, don't they? In some of those developing world countries, shall we say? And what you see on the pictures, they look very, very good, and they're pretty reasonable. So yeah. I don't know. I think if it was something like Warlord were offering, no, it's going to be either very basic or extremely expensive. But I think I saw someone comment before my internet went down or my webcam went down. What about things like Epic? The fact they're painted, they're printed in a color.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, and in fact they say themselves, you can just line up the British because they're in red, Napoleonic wise, and you can line up the French because they're blue, and you don't need to paint them.
Yeah, very true.
Is that pre-painted or not?
That and they're boring as hell as well.
Well, that as well, but details. Yeah, I don't know. I think, they're right. Well, I know you guys come in from a very different point of view to me. I'm always, it's about getting the game. So I'm quite happy to, if somebody offered a range of figures that were done pretty well, painted.
Yeah.
Just the effect on table was what I was looking for, then I'd have no problem. If the price was right. The price was right.
I would consider doing it for something like a black powder 28mm. 13.5 epic scale army.
13.5. Yeah.
I'd consider that more. I wouldn't go 28mm. I think also the detail at 28mm you're not gonna get it. Whereas pre-colored or whatever you want to call it, pre-painted at a lower scale, is going to be more forgiving, I guess.
You may have talked about it already, but getting on to Ken's favourite subject, 3D printing, wasn't there a service that somebody was talking about doing, and I thought at first it was an April Fool, but doing coloured pre-painted figures
Hero Forge were offering that.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
So you could get them already painted up effectively.
Good, yeah.
I don't know whether that will ever go anywhere. Yeah, well, they seem to be. But I mean, that was designed for one-off D&D type models, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But if they manage to scale that up,
it's starting to come through, isn't it?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? Once you start doing that once, it doesn't take that much to push it into a different level.
Just look at that. Like you're talking, what about the pre-colored MDF buildings that we all, the foreground buildings which were essentially only ever really base coats, weren't they?
Yes.
It's just, but no, I don't really know anyone that tied them up. Everyone just used them as they were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Actually, yeah, that's a very good point.
Well, I say those buildings, those conflict ones that I've been using, I did fully intend to give them a little bit of dry brush or work them up in some way. And actually, I haven't bothered because they look perfectly good on the table. What's the point?
Yeah. No, it's a very good point, isn't it? If they look good, so what's the point? Why would you bother, like you say? I'll tell you what, though, the more and more you guys think about it, the more and more I think about it, quite interesting those WoFun board game stuff, I think.
Yeah. I'd never heard of them till Leon mentioned them a couple of years back, and since then they've just
they've always been there.
They just look interesting.
Just a case of just popping it out and playing, which I like the idea of a lot, to be fair. You can get them in 28 and 18. I wouldn't get them in 28. I'd probably go 18 with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't get them 28mm.
No, I'd probably go 18. But yeah, there's loads of different stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else have we got in there? Comments. Sorry, we've been spending so long on comments, haven't we? So It's a beauty. It was always pre-painted. Yes, it was. Didn't spoil it. Yeah. Much prefer pre-painted. Yeah. So Dan's put he's much prefer pre-painted terrains. Yeah, 100% agree. I'd like pre-painted terrain. Unless
See,
it's stuff like if it's like yours, Steve.
Yeah,
every day of the week.
My opinion on painted terrain has definitely changed. This is definitely open. I mean, I think I actually prefer painting science fiction scenery.
Okay.
The sort of real worldy stuff, because I can just basically do what I want with it, make it look as gungy and grimy as I possibly can.
So here's a question on terrain. If I know people do have a thing about not using somebody else's figures or somebody else's paint jobs, but do they feel the same about going along to Lost Valley and picking up a whole load of his terrain that he's built?
Yeah.
Or
it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
No, exactly. It's weird, isn't it? It wouldn't. Well, I'm not bothered either way, but it doesn't seem to bother most people.
No. It's a good question, actually, Dom. It's weird, isn't it? When you've got natural things like trees and bushes, that seems okay. But yeah.
I don't understand why people keep doing this. I think maybe we should just not do the news. Can we not just do it like when we want to do it? You got Google. You got Google.
Yeah, that'll teach them. Just let us not bother.
News. Yeah, so I'll pass the news. You can wait. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Just quickly, well, a shout out. If you've been noticing you've been getting adverts through this stream, it's because YouTube have changed their policy completely now on adverts. I don't know if you guys read it recently, but they've
adverts on live streams.
Yeah. So now what they do now is they will put adverts no matter if you select them mid-roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter now. They've started doing mid-roll ads for everybody. So if you are noticing you're getting some ads that do, it's not. Sorry, it's YouTube, not me. They put a mid-roll ad, and that'll be for all our videos now because we monetize. You just get mid-roll ads. No, oh, you do not. No, you'll still be getting it.
No, my own videos. I never monetize the podcast though.
Oh yeah, you still get them now, Steve.
That's the whole point. Absolute arse.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and they're putting it on the older videos as well, so all our backdated stuff. It's just frustration, isn't it? Or it's just So apologies. Cool. Right, where was it? Oh yeah, we're still talking. So yeah, So I'm just having a quick look. There we go. So Nick Gaines put, wonder if AI will be able to pre-paint figures at a very high quality standard. You assemble a box of Perry's, put it in an AI paint machine, done in 5 minutes, high quality paint 2024. I wish it was be 2024, but it's not going to be. I think I'll tell you now. I would say within 10 years we'll have 3D printing painted miniatures. I would say 10 years. I would say 10 years.
Yeah,
we'll be able to just print to the colors that the designers, when they do the minis, will say. And yeah, I think it's going to happen. It's the next step in the technology. Obviously, like any technology. Yeah. It's like with any steps in technology, it's going to be the initial wave is going to be expensive, and then it's going to get cheaper as time goes on. But yeah, for me, that's a godsend. I would be in heaven. I could tomorrow never paint a figure again.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, tomorrow I could just never paint a figure again. I could. If I could get a decent quality print that painted to the same standards I paint, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Feed Crayolas into it, and then it will chuck them.
The thing is, though, the thought of not painting a miniature ever again, it would just. I can't even. My brain can't even begin to fathom that. I just couldn't. I mean, figure painting takes up so much of my time. It's such a big part of my sort of downtime outside of work. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, the hell's go? What can I actually do now? I've got pre-painted terrain. I've got all my figures pre-painted for me. You get a
Pre-paint everything.
Yeah, just pre-roll my dice for me. It just
Well, there are apps that already do that for you, Steve.
That's never happening on my table.
no.
You watch tournaments one day and turn into digitals to stop weighted dice. You watch.
I mean, it's not a danger that the whole gaming hobby experience is just going to be completely automated at some point.
Well, the whole world's going to go automation. What's that?
No, do you know why? Because wargamers are the most stubborn, awkward people.
Yeah,
and
It's
damn
not
right. So yeah,
it's not going to happen. And also because there are enough people, there's as many people who do this hobby just for the painting and the modeling as do actually gaming. So I think while it might become more common, I can't see it taking over entirely. I genuinely can't.
No.
Like I say,
Not in our lifetimes, anyway. Maybe in our kids' lifetimes.
Well, your
Yeah,
thinks your kid's gonna be living in a loft, so you're not gonna.
No, it is. I mean, Tony's got a good point. Painting miniatures it's great for mindfulness and mental health. I absolutely totally agree with that. If I've had like a busy day at work and my brain's like, if I just sit down, put some music on, and paint for a couple of hours, I just feel so centered, and it relaxes me and it calms me. And if someone just said, "There you go, here's some pre-painted images," I'd be like, "Well, not much use to me because they don't do anything for me." It wouldn't. There's something visceral about painting your own miniatures and seeing them on the tabletop. And to have that aspect of the hobby completely removed from what I do, it'd be awful. I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. Because I just love painting. I love painting. I love kit bashing. I love converting to anything like that. It's what interests me the most. No, I mean, I can imagine some people have got the time. Pre-painted armies would be a godsend to people to get into games so quickly. So there's no. I mean, you do it the way you want to do it. I mean, if you want to have pre-painted miniatures, knock yourself out. Just not for me. Not for me.
In the long run, I think unless I can buy a small scale army, as in like a 15mm army pre-painted, I wouldn't be interested.
Fair enough. What was this other comment I saw? I did see a really good one actually. No, it's gone.
Oh, going off on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah,
I completely rearranged my painting desk last night.
Very nice.
And I don't know where any of my paints are. My paints used to be in certain areas where I could just didn't even have to look. I could grab them. And
and now you sort it out. Now you don't know
I'm like, what have I? Do you know what? I must have threw out a good 20% of paints that I didn't use anymore. Just like bottles that was just empty or dry.
Sorry, I rearranged my desk at work and I found that bit of that wet palette. One of the bits I was talking about.
No.
Not mine. It's weird. I was rearranging my desk. I had a bit of a hissy fit on Friday because I couldn't find something, so I decided to completely rearrange my side of the office. So I had to remove, 2 human skulls, a 4,000-year-old urn, and someone's old wet palette.
I would not have been impressed by that wet palette. Here it is. So Yorkshire Kent's put painting is the best bit of the hobby for him. He loves it. He could never game again and live with it. He needs to paint most days, so it's actually a massive thing to do. Painting is like a huge aspect of the hobby. It's more
the only two nights I don't. I mean, sometimes Saturday night, but I don't paint on Friday night. Friday night's my red wine and film night, so I don't paint on Friday.
Mate, you need to watch that Fortress film, Steve. You need to watch it.
It's on my list of. I've got a massive list.
The Van Damme film.
No, it's Christopher Lambert.
Oh no, Lambert. Chris Lambert. It's Chris Lambert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, the Fortress. Yeah. Really like. I like that film. I watched it again the other day.
But I paint most nights, and I can sit down at sort of 6:30 and paint through to sort of 11 o'clock most nights. And I just
used to be able to do that.
But the thing is, I lose track of time as well. Sometimes I'll sit down, I'll start painting something, I'll just keep changing albums, and the next thing you know, it's like 11:15. I'm like, where's the night gone? But it just and again, if that was going to be completely replaced, count me out. Count me out.
Actually, I have to reconsider. I'd have to reconsider this. I'd have to talk to Elaine at night and watch some of the crap she watched on telly. That's true. Yeah, keep painting, everyone.
Yeah.
I'd just pretend, just put some little bits of paint on things and just pretend I'm painting. That's what I do.
Take up landscapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear. So that would be quite funny, actually. So now is the time for the news for this evening. So what have we got going on this evening, chaps? Who wants to take?
Are you not going to play your intro?
Oh, it's an effort to try and find it.
No, it's fine. No, we're happy for you not to.
We're happy for you not to play it.
Tea tastes better in the right kind of mug, doesn't it? I just looked up and thought, why am I on the screen? What's gone wrong now with my camera? When I realised what you play.
It's an advert. It's an advert, an internal advert.
He did play it because he couldn't hear. I take it you couldn't hear what I was saying. Because
You probably called me a prick, but yeah.
No, I brought up your unborn child. But in a good way. Well, I just hope that they're not like you.
Absolute knob.
But I know. Could you imagine two?
You're not the only person to say that. Laura says that most days, to be fair.
No. There could be. It's like Highlander. There can be only one.
Please, only one.
But yeah, that's cool. So yes, the CrackCon mugs. How many would they've?
We've actually having to get a second, and I'm actually having to get a second run done because we've sold 14
Well,
of
the
them.
thing is, they're not actually the CrackCon mugs. They are the PCP mugs.
They are
just the
PCP
first wave
mugs,
are available at CrackCon, and we were going to see. So, they are awesome. They also remind you when the stream is, which is good because we're going to give one to Ken.
I set this up a week in advance.
Yeah,
I know you did. I know
Yours
you
is
did.
on its way to you, Ken, and it's lots of things to remind you on that. Don't worry.
My one, yes. Dom has personalised ours. I think you might have seen Haley's on the group.
Excellent.
Haley's one is like what was it, like logistic extraordinaire, and at the end of it says responsible adult. So yeah, but no, it was stellar work by Dom. So yes, the dice. How many sets of? I think we've only got about 3 sets left.
I think we've only got about 3 or 4 of the pre-ordered ones available.
Yeah,
I think something
that's
like
it.
that.
Oh, there will be new sets.
There will be more. Don't worry.
More,
there will be more, and the more crack and more mugs after the event.
More
when we
crack.
more crack.
More crack.
More crack after the event. Don't
More
worry.
crack, yeah, more crack. So they are coming. I've got a little bit of news, not as much as Dom, because again, I came on here to see what he'd saved first of all.
It's never
You can put
So
you can talk my ones. I don't mind. I'll
Oh,
just
it's
put them
all
up
right.
there.
So I had a couple of things. I saw this crazy looking Kickstarter, and all I could think about was Steve. So this is
Army of Darkness, yeah.
Oh, I saw this. I left it
32
for you
minutes.
because I thought that was brilliant.
That is
and
fantastic.
have you seen the minis? Have you seen them?
No.
Oh, they
Oh,
are
I've seen this, yeah.
unbelievable.
Look at them.
Oh wow! That's Steve all over, isn't it?
I have
this
no
is.
words.
That's
do
a
you
Burrows
know
and
what?
Badgers miniature.
Do you know what this
anything.
one's called? Do you know what this is called? That's Drake
Go on.
Pliskin.
Drake.
Jesus.
Brilliant.
This is Quint Eastuck.
Ugh.
This is Teal Armstrong.
Oh my god!
This is Oswald Hookfinder.
Oh my lord!
Oh, that's pretty.
I love
cool.
that. I
Oh,
love
that's
that.
really cool.
That is brilliant.
That is awesome.
And this is and then this is one I love actually. This is Mordecai Toot.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. My
Love
favourite's
it.
probably the third one. I quite like the third one.
Oh, this one here. Yeah, they are quality. So anyway, yeah, if you're looking for some weird or some alternative
Weird
Boris and
shit.
Badges or just something to you want to go on some kind of crazy DuckTales RPG. That's they're lovely. So absolutely. I can't wait to see Dom paint them either.
You might have a little while to wait. That's all I'm saying.
He always says that. Other things. I put this in here for Steve because there's some Horus Heresy Space Wolves stuff that's been released. So here you go, Steve. Here is a Space Wolf Praetor.
Right colour.
Right colour, wrong. Oh, I don't like that helmet.
Well, you're lucky because it comes with different, like, you can just make him beardy.
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
Space Wolfy.
Yeah, Mark II helmet, please.
So he's there you go for all of the people who like the Horus Heresy. I assume this is plastic and not resin, but I don't
Is it
know.
Forge World or
I don't know. I don't.
Forge
Yes,
World,
probably. Again, I can resist all this stuff. It's when we go to Warhammer World and we see all that the lovely naked resin there that I start looking at these things going, see, these all look really, really cool, but it'll be a big hole. Then news from Andy Hobday. Do you remember when Andy came on? He gave us a picture, one of his fantasy pictures, the stuff he was doing with Paul Hicks. And he gave us a few photos. He's had one that came out, and this is just called. This is called the White Seer, and I think the Widow Blades or Widow Blade Bodyguard. So this is for this upcoming fantasy line game. It's all a bit secretive around it, but Paul Hicks fantasy sculpts. Basically,
it's all very secretive, but they keep releasing pictures of individual models.
I really like that one on the far left. Really like the hair on that. It's very cool.
And then this is a wizard, which I just quite like. See, this is what I imagine Merlin to be like in the Winter King instead. That guy. Has anyone watched that yet? By the way,
no, not yet.
I know Leon
Merlin,
did, and he told me that not to bother, but I didn't know if anyone else had watched it yet. But that's it because Dom basically was in there first.
Oh,
so
you can talk about
no.
You
kicked my ass yesterday. You can have all of that.
True.
Yeah, no, go for it.
All right. Well, I know this caused a lot of moisture in the Facebook page in the last few days, but the upcoming Bloody Miniatures Cavalry.
Yeah.
So there's 4 different packs, but I can only find 3 lots of pictures. So
I think he's only put 3.
Was he only put 3 up?
I think
that'll probably be why I could only find 3 then. So these flashing blades, amazing. Cool. This is the lobster's right.
I love it because it's so cool.
That's brilliant. And then the third one is the Moss Troopers.
Now, so you can get those on foot, can't you? As well,
you can indeed. Now you notice the observant of you notice it's only the riders that have been modelled. The horses are from pre-done, but he's obviously put a load of green stuff and modelling around them as well. So I think they're going to look really fantastic as a unit. I know they're supposed to be different, some from Royalists and some from Parliament, but they're going to be one unit in my army.
Absolutely. That's what's happening.
It's a thing and it's going to happen. They're all going to be in my Royal Army. So, So I imagine, but did he say when they're coming out? I can't remember.
Do you know what? That might be the one thing that I didn't actually eat because I might, we sort of talk occasionally on email, and I didn't ask.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out. I'm sure if anyone saw it on the comments. Also, Victrix are continuing in their efforts to steal everybody's money with these early Saxon warriors.
Yeah, nice stuff. Perfect for ducks. Absolutely perfect. October, apparently.
No, you're careful what you're saying about ducks now after that. So these are coming very, very soon. I mean, they're amazing. They've got better and better, and the Victrix figures.
Yep.
The detail on these things. Look at it. Look at these fellas.
Oh, they're
Absolutely
nice.
amazing. So yeah, they're on their way. And also they teased another upcoming pack, which was these.
Right. So what do we reckon? Rus
What do we
or
reckon? What do you
Varangian Guard? Or is it going to be a joint pack and you can make Rus or Varangian Guard? Because remember how much stuff they put in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, we often talk about, would you repay missions if they are Varangian and you can, or there's a Varangian alternative? I will redo my Varangian Guard that I bought from Fireforge.
I think they're Rus myself, but
I think they're Rus, but they've got, remember, so like with their Norman cavalry, you can make those up as Saracens as well. So it maybe there'll be some alternative options.
I would imagine with not too much effort, you can do some head swaps and what have you, and get them looking good. So yeah, October apparently for the for the bloody miniatures. Apparently to Andy.
Oh, nice.
I guess he would know these things because he's got very excited about them. Also, I think we talked about some of the supplements coming for Silver Bayonets, but there's a new one coming out at the end of November, which is Canada. Which could be interesting because I assume that'll bring in an American faction for the troops, but also various monsters that are particularly unique to North America, I would imagine. That'd be interesting if you're into that. I still really would like to have a go at it, but
you sold everything.
But I've sold all the stuff now, so no, I'm not going to. Even the rule book I sold. There you go. Also, probably more up my street for the moment. There's Crusader have got a new range of boxer figures coming out. So these are Kansu Braves, which are on the boxer side. Probably the most effective boxer troops.
Very cool.
They're really nice. I do like Crusader miniatures. I think they really come out well. And I particularly like these fellas. This is Japanese dismounted cavalry. There were an awful lot of Japanese involved in that war. And I guess these would probably be useful in the Russo-Japanese War as well, if you were trying to model that, or some of the earlier Chinese conflicts where the Japanese were involved, because the uniforms didn't change that much at all. So really, really good. Nice looking models. Also, I know there's a lot of interest in the Osprey rules.
Yeah.
So this new set coming out of American Civil War rules, Hot Lead and Cold Steel, released late October, according to North Star. So I think somebody in the Facebook pages actually wrote these. So
yeah.
So I don't know what they're like. Be interesting to see. I know they're very, very popular with a lot of people. So we shall see. I imagine you can get them from, as well as from North Star. You probably get them from Amazon and all the other companies as well. So if you're into that, that's coming. But the best launch of the week, of course, was those so-and-sos at the Perry Towers with a whole load more Ottomans. So they released they've put these up for sale now. So you've got Ottoman spearmen, or these are Egyptians, I believe, which you could use very much earlier than Napoleonic period and probably quite a lot later than Napoleonic period, because they don't change an awful lot at all. And then I did like these guys with the water.
I do like that, yeah.
The water carriers, which is just perfect for a bit of modelling. And then these guys made me very excited. Very, very good indeed.
Have you made an order, Dom?
I haven't yet. You know, I've been restrained so far because I know that's the word you do not hear coming out of my mouth very often. But I have quite a lot of them sitting in a bag ready to paint. And I just have, when I launch into them, then there's going to be an order being placed. Definitely. But yeah, those look amazing. Anyway, so that's what I've seen.
Excellent.
Anything else, anyone?
Did anyone listen to the Two Fat Ladies Oddcast this week?
No.
Nope.
I didn't know that they're currently developing a English Civil War skirmish game. It's called In the Buff.
Oh, he mentioned that when he was on a while ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he said
because I know he mentioned it on the Oddcast, but he's been buying a lot of bloody miniatures to paint them up, and Rich has been posting a lot of them on Twitter.
Okay, interesting.
Very, very interesting. That
does sound quite interesting, to be fair. What did he? Well, how long do they say to launch? Any idea? Or
no, I think it's just it's in development stage. I mean, Lardy's games take a good while to come out. They're not.
Yeah, Rich has posted some pictures on Twitter of some games. Interesting. Oh, and Miller's woken up. Thank God for that.
He's like probably mentioned no pikes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's cool. That's the news. So we got nothing else CrackCon related, have we?
No, other than just if I did get some orders from Haley. Hang on. If you have it right, so if you're coming to CrackCon and you want to come to the curry, or if you're not coming to CrackCon but you want to come to the curry and you're in the area, you need to go on to the Classic Crack Facebook page, go to the announcements at the top, the featured comments on your phone. Sometimes you actually have to click to open featured comments, and please add your name in the comments saying that you would like to come. She will add you to a list. Likewise, if you can't come to CrackCon, can you also just let her know? So she's going to put the table in this week. I think there's 48 of us or something like that so far. So obviously, and also if you've got a +1 or anything like that, just let us know. Obviously, more than welcome. It is a massive space, and they're going to they do well out of us. So I don't think it'll be a problem. So just go over there. Obviously, if 1 or 2 people drop out near a time, or 1 or 2 people to join, that's probably not going to be a big problem. But if you can get as accurate numbers as possible, that would be brilliant. Other than that, actually, I was just about to say that Shaco's James has organised his road trip around the manufacturers in sort of Nottingham and that. So if you go over to the page, I'm sure he'll repost so you can see the information there. In the evening, we are going to be decamping to Tony. His brother owns a pub in Derby, and we're basically very welcome to go there and use the Tudor room, which I'm gonna deal with in my own way. I'm gonna go in the corner and scratch a little boar or something. No, I won't. So we're going to go there. I had a quick chat with him. He said absolutely. I said, can we bring board games? Can we things like that? He said, yeah, absolutely. No problem there. But it's a case of sorting our own food things. So I think the pub does food, but don't rely on it. If you're going to eat, you might want to go to Spoons or Burger King or something else to have some food. And then I think from about 8 o'clock we'll gather in this pub, and I'll put the details up for the night before. So yeah. We're just looking forward to it, really. There will be a information pack that Haley's done, because it clearly wasn't us, going out later this week. So if you don't receive it, let us know. If you're not on Facebook and you want to come to the curry, pop us an email, put it down in the comments down below, or send us a message, something like that, and we'll get it sorted. But I think that's about it. CrackCon raffle prizes. Actually, if you do have things to donate to the raffle, we are once again raising money for WizKids, which Cal is doing his London Marathon. What would you call it? He's doing a London Marathon in support of WizKids, and we're going to support Cal because it's a really nice charity. And we've got some awesome prizes that have been donated already. So if you have something, the best thing to do is you can chuck us an email if you're unsure. But if you've got anything new you bought, if you're like Dom and you bought a Silver Bayonet and you don't know what to do with it, let us know. If you've maybe got some decent painted French that you're going to go and put in a drawer, and you're not going to sell, then maybe don't donate those. If you have a 6mm samurai army that you don't want, then absolutely in there. But just pop us an email if you're unsure. Within reason, we pretty much take anything. And
please
we
make it fairly new. We don't want some squash that somebody's turned out of their cupboard, Ken.
Yes. I actually found a lot of the stuff that Ken had given me. I found a whole load of like 40k Psyker cards for the 1,000 Suns. I used them to stir the resin in my printer. So genuinely is what I use them for. But there will be plenty, and we promise this year that we are banned from the big prizes. We will mark up the big prizes, and we are banned from winning those, or rather Ken is.
Yeah, it's only Ken that ever wins them.
Well, it's just because that hero quest is never going to see the light of day, because now he's having a kid.
Painted.
Yeah, but you're not going to play it because you've got a kid.
I have done. I have played it.
Yeah, good. That'll be the only time it's ever coming out. I hope it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, you enjoyed that. It's never coming out again.
Frick.
That's just a word of truth.
Oh,
nice one. Alex says he's got a copy of Battle Group that can go excellent. All that kind of
awesome.
stuff. Just going to have a problem with that one. Yeah.
You never know. You might see my Pusher Pike in the raffle.
That won't happen. I know you'll never do that. You wouldn't be able to do it. You couldn't bring yourself to do it.
Because I've got too much money. There's too much money wrapped into it. Yeah, true.
No, well, anything. You just would never. You would never ever be able to let go of a box that big for free. You wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think you could do it. I think it'd be a really good test of character for you.
Yeah, but then you're just taking away money from my unborn child. So,
Jesus.
Not really, though, are we?
Not really. No.
Oh dear, dear. Right. Where are we now? So yes, picture time. Yes, I uploaded pictures. I bet you can't believe it.
And not with anything else. He just went on the internet and just downloaded random photos,
random shit,
wherever he could find.
Just random pictures of cats.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, cats. I like cats. Where are they? Why is that not saved? Oh, they're all mixed. No, you.
What do you mean they're mixed?
Oh no, that's good. Okay, all right. I think that some of them have been deleted, but I'll try and work out which ones. Right. So start with David. He decided that these would be a very nice little challenge for him. So he got these from sprue to this in 3 hours.
Dead.
All of
Such a good little set. I love those.
You want
I
you
love
want a really quick army? Bang.
Army of the Dead.
A lot of Army of the Dead for Middle Earth strategy battle game. Can't go wrong. That is probably the quickest. If you haven't got time, that is probably the quickest army and the easiest army to paint. Very, very nice indeed. Aaron did his first ever British Napoleonic.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, very
nice.
So I need to ask the question because obviously I'm doing mine. Those flags, are they the right way round?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
hang on. One of mine is I've got one unit the wrong way round, so it's whichever way the Cambridge unit is wrong. And I remember the kicking I got. They are because if I hopefully they're on a picture. Hang on. They are the right way around. Yes.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Because that matters. I mean, they are fantastic anyway.
It does matter. It's gonna matter for my OCD when I do my flags. So yeah, 100%.
But what if I just lied to you?
Just make sure. Yeah, but you are. But okay. So Davey.
What?
Yeah, so he decided to get all his 10 mil out because you were saying that company's closing down, Dom.
Yeah,
military,
so whatever they are.
And he realised that this is just one of many pictures. So he's got a lot. Sorry, he's got a lot of miniatures. He didn't realise how many he had, so I thought it would be worth seeing that. So Jeffrey, this is Warlord's kit, isn't it?
Yes,
this is the one with the night, the
infrared,
scopes. The infrared scopes, the IR scopes. It's a metal set from Warlord, isn't it? Very nice. I don't. What's that launcher, Steve? That's a specific launcher as well, isn't it? I've not seen that launcher.
I'm not familiar with the set, to be honest.
No, that has got to be a specific launcher because I've not seen that before. Not a Panzer Shrek. It doesn't look like it anyway. But yeah, no, that's very cool. I liked it. The STG 44s with the IR scopes on. They do get a little buff for using those IR scopes, I believe, as well. I think they get to ignore the nighttime rule. Really smart. Very nicely painted, nice camo. Gaza.
Oh, his Third Crusade stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, nice, isn't it? Nice flags. Beautiful flags. I like the crispness of the shields. Very nice.
They're very cool.
Basin's really nice as well. Nice basin. Yeah, no, I was really impressed. He did a couple more close-up ones in the bigger army one, but I just really like this how it's just stood out in depth field-wise. So Don this week.
Don.
Yes,
these are really nice. Really nice. I love the flag. I love the banners. So good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, well done, Don. That's really cool, man. This has to be probably my favorite this week. This next one, really like this, and I think it's just the crispness about it. But you guys, I don't know what you think. So,
oh yeah,
that is cool.
That's very clever. Yeah, you see what you mean about the crispness.
Yeah. Is it? I want to pronounce his name right. Is that Chrysler? Is it? Is it Reister? Do you not pronounce the K? You guys see the name on the picture.
Oh, hang on.
I want to make sure I get that right.
I can't find the picture.
I've got it highlighted in blue.
I'd say that's Krista.
Krista. Yeah, Krista. No, it's really nice. He did an American set. He's got a half track as well. The same sort of scheme, but I think the edge highlighting on it. So it worked really well.
It's really nice.
Well done. Matthew next. Bit of weird shit in there.
They're cool. Oh, I love the shields.
Yeah, the shield's really cool, isn't it? That glow effect's really nice, isn't it?
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice, dude. Well done. Very well done. Then Matt from Lancastrians. Happy days.
Nice.
Nice little command base there. I want to say that's not Percy, is it?
They're not Lancastrians.
No, they're Yorkists. Sorry, Yorkists.
They're Yorkists. They're Yorkists. That's Norfolk.
Yeah, he did his dirty Yorkist, didn't he?
That's Norfolk. Next to him, that's the Duke of Norfolk's flag.
Why, Matt? Why did you become a traitor?
It's for the game. It's for his Duke's brigade.
Yeah, he said he's got to. Yeah,
he's got to paint Yorkists.
Yeah.
Phil did some moderns. He did some Navy SEALs.
Oh, nice.
They're very nice.
I like Phil's stuff. He does a lot of modern, doesn't he? So
yeah,
it's nice little gets it in there. Very nice.
I think he's into Spectre Ops, so I think that's why.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that release from Spectre. You know, the one we showed the other week.
Yeah,
that could. Could be very tempted to do. Again, Steve, you could use your awesome board and do near future modern stuff with the Spectre miniatures.
Ooh.
Like Metal Gear Solid style sort of.
That'd be so cool.
You could do that Starship Troopers game as well. That'd be pretty cool. So Robert, 20 mil airborne.
Like
yeah, it's his first one he's done. So I thought it was really good. To be fair.
20 mil, did you say?
20 mil. Yeah.
AB.
Must be an AB. Looks really cool.
I like how he's got he's got all the detail there in it, but that's what you get with the metal figures, isn't it? You get those nice recesses. The sculpted for it look lovely. So Rob did some Swedes. He decided to go with printing them, so these are 3D printed.
3 mil.
Yeah, I've got the files for these. But it does what it does, doesn't it? He's got his unit there, and it looks cool. He's got lots of figures, lots of plans.
I like the fact he's worked out how they would have actually deployed and mirrored it with the figure. At that scale, it's perfect for that. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? So, Stephen, I had to add this one in here. He had a game midweek.
I wonder why you put this one in.
There's no guessing, is there, why I put this one in?
No, not at all.
Not at all. So yeah, no, just look, trains can be used for all sorts of things. So that's my bias picture of the week. And then Stephen is still on his Ultramarines.
Oh yeah.
So he's got his flames.
Oh look, some French.
Yeah, more French.
Yeah, French. The thing I like about Stephen is he does the yellow trim on the pauldrons instead of the gold, which I like for the Ultramarines. And then finally we have Warren, and yeah.
What? Just what? What is going on there?
Let's end on a weird shit.
I mean,
I think that's regressing back to what we were talking about with Stephen and de Montfort.
Do you know what? Do you know you could put like Cannibal Corpse or Deicide, and that's an album cover right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Tomb of the Mutilated does come to mind.
Yeah.
when you look at the way the skin tones on there, he probably was looking at it as he painted it.
Very much so, yeah. No, it's there's some good stuff this week, to be fair. It's just a selection of everything. But of course, remember, if you want to get your picture seen, join the Facebook group. If you haven't, why not? Get it. We're over 1,100 now.
Yeah.
Just answer Dom's questions free, and ye shall be entered. So yeah, the links should be in the description box below if I remember to put them there, which I'm sure I did for once. And yeah, God. So 2 minutes to go, chaps. Have we got any final messages for this evening?
We're sponsored by Boards and Swords.
We are sponsored by Boards and Swords. Head over to Boards and Swords now to get your additional 5% off with the code PCP5 off their already amazing discounts. Boards and Swords is also the home of the plastic crack. Oh no, not the plastic.
No, it's not the home of the press.
No, for CrackCon. CrackCon 4.
What he's trying to say is, if there's anything that you want from Boards and Swords, go and have a look on their website, because you can then you can print it. If there's anything on that you want that isn't on their website, email them, message them, and they might be able to call it in for you. And remember, the 5% discount is applicable on the day, on top of the already discounted prices that you see on there. So you got to go up there. I mean, I don't know how he's going to do it. If you just go PCP5 when you go up to the till, I think he's going to be able to pretty easily work out who we are. I mean, basically, it's going to be Dom buying him out of all of his Battlefront villages.
Dom's hoping he has a discounted corner.
He didn't have much last time, so you better stock up. That's all I'm going to say.
Ian, if you're watching,
stock up.
Yeah, discount corner, please. Especially on board games. Yes. Yeah, he does do it. To be fair, as well, he does do a nice selection of board games as well.
Yeah, Ken, what happened to your Stardew Valley game?
I played it, mate. I played it quite.
I played it with him.
Yeah, me. Yeah, it's quite good actually.
It was good. Once I worked out what the hell was going on.
Do you know what? That's one of the most relaxing video games you can play.
I love that game, man.
It's just so zen. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
board game wasn't relaxing. Did we lose?
No. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't win. Yeah, we didn't win. It was it's
because I was playing.
Yeah. So next week then, chaps. Where are we next week?
We're with Dom, aren't we?
We are indeed, and we have a guest this next week.
Ooh, sweet.
Yes, and he's been in the chat.
He has been in the chat and contributing quite a lot. So hopefully he'll continue that next week. So we don't have to speak much. Jerry McCabe from On Tabletop is coming on next week, which is going to be fantastic. I look forward to hearing about his journey in the hobby, what they do, and how he manages to keep his sanity. Is the only one who seems to understand anything historical on that stream. So looking forward to that. So that'll be on my stream
next week.
I do love Jerry from On Tabletop. He's definitely the historical nut on that cast for sure.
He is. He is. He says by drinking, apparently, is how he survives. There you go.
Welcome.
Welcome to what we all do.
Yeah. That's next week, and I'll get the menu for the upcoming streams up. It's a 5-week, 5-stream month next month, but we don't do the one after CrackCon. So we'll
Yes.
still all get one in, but we will get the menu up. So yeah, if you guys have got any questions or anything you want to talk about in the stream or ask, then pop them in on the Facebook page.
Please.
Excellent. Right. So we just want to say thanks a lot, guys. It's been a good. You've got an extra minute out of us tonight. Look at that overtime. It's crazy. We'll see you next week and take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.